on our YouTube? Something a little different today. This is a completely scratch-built 3D printed body and aluminum chassis. Custom suspension, everything. This is from Australia, from Revxscustoms. There's a link in the video description. Check him out. He's got all kinds of 3D printed accessories and bodies and all kinds of cool stuff. So yeah, I saw this on Instagram. I ran across it a while ago, and he makes these in small batches. I think he built about 10 of them or so, and this was the last one he had of the current batch, and I was like, that's pretty cool. I was impressed. A lot goes into designing your own chassis, coming up with suspension and things like that, and it was really cool to see that, you know, he's on a small scale mass producing these. So worked out a deal, and it just arrived today, and yeah. So it looks loosely like a early 50s Ford truck. It's made in multiple pieces. It is already glued together. I believe the bed is separate. We'll show you more of the underside stuff here when we get the body off, but lots of little details. The headlights are, hope not glued in already, because I do want to paint this and do some weathering on it. I'm going to try to make it look like this. If you haven't seen this truck, it's been on the internet for a while, from Chuckle's Garage. Yeah, he did the Pikes Peak hill climb in it and wrecked it. But it's a cool truck, and it's kind of got the stance for it, I think. This does. Alright, so we've got completely 3D printed body, top to bottom. There is a floorboard piece that stays on the chassis when you pull the body off. There's not a whole lot to say about it. It's kind of self-explanatory. Like I said, it looks kind of like an old Ford truck from the early 50s. I do already have the bolts loose, so careful turning it around here. We've just got some 1.9, just plain looking steel wheels. There are plastic with the real lug nuts, just the, you know, kind of old ratty look. I think, I'm not sure if I'm going to paint those yet. Let's see how the body turns out, how it comes out. I do want to do this blue to match our real truck I showed you. I don't know that I have a good blue. Yeah, I do. Never mind. Looking through my paint collection over there. So I'm going to pull the body off here, show you this chassis. Alright. Well, first, fuel cell. It comes out. It's got a bracket glued in there for it. The fuel cell will be painted differently. So we've got CNC aluminum chassis rails, motor plate, 4-link. It's all handmade. I'm not sure what gearbox this is. Let me zoom you in a little bit. The front suspension is pretty unique. It has a single shock. It's got 3D printed upper and lower control arms, independent front end. It is a belt drive. We've got a belt and a pulley to put on our motor. Uses a short servo. So here you can see the front suspension. It's got a single shock mounted in the center, kind of like the old Tamiya M cars were. Allows for side to side as well as both up and down. I think these knuckles are aluminum. It's a really cool design. The upper and lower control arms are 3D printed, and it's kind of a mix between parts that are available like rod ends and 3D printed custom stuff. Excuse me. Got aluminum plate here. It kind of holds the whole front end together. Aluminum motor plate. A little transmission. It looks like, I don't know, it's a little too. It looks smaller than a SCX-10 transmission, but it may be one of those variants of it. Again, that's a good little servo. I like those. Moving around the back, we've got a 2-piece drive shaft, and it's actually mounted to the floorboard here. Battery tray here for a small lipo, which is, I don't have. That's alright, we're still a ways from driving this thing, because got a lot of painting to do. Got a metal drive shaft, got a, looks like a SCX-10 style aluminum rear axle, and he's CNC'd these brackets and everything for the shock mounts, and have the 4-link mounts on it. Gives you a good amount of movement. It's got a track rod across the rear, a 3D printed drop bracket for that. it's pretty much thought of everything on it. It's very simple, it's very basic, but it's all custom made. It's just dang impressive. This all 3D printed. It's actually very nice. It looks like there's a little bit of sheen to it, like it's a nylon. We've got mounting holes there in the center. It bolts all the way through to the chassis. It's kind of cool. I've not had anything full fendered, so it's different for me. But I think once we paint it up, it's gonna fit in. So the body's actually very good, very smooth. There's a slight grain to it, but we'll be able to hide that real easy with a good coat of primer. So that's what I'm going to do right now. It's December, and we actually have a 70-degree day. It's getting dark out there, so I need to get out there and put some primer on this thing, and hopefully the weather will play nice this week, and we can go ahead and get it all said and done. Because I am going to do my normal patina. Going to do really thick primer coat, let that dry overnight, and then we'll start adding colors. Our idea truck that we're doing, it has some green showing through. Might mix in a little yellow or something. Got a bunch of odd colors, but I want it to finish with a blue main color and go from there. Here's a look underneath it. You can see the transmission mount is 3D printed, I believe. Yeah, so smooth. Couldn't tell for a minute. Two-piece drive shaft, so it doesn't interfere with the floorboard in the front, just in the rear there. All right, guys. So it's been a few days. We've had some cold, rainy weather, so painting got delayed quite a bit. Did get the primer all sanded down, nice and smooth. Hit it with a little too thick coat of green. Took it a few days to dry, and I wet sanded that down and got it pretty dang smooth. So early this morning, when the sun was out, I went ahead and hit it with some red, just in spots where I want a little bit of red accent to come through. I'm trying to leave green in certain areas so it looks like our inspiration truck. It had some green showing through on the doors. And I think I'm about to go outside and hit it with a good coat of blue. And I'm not going to sand the red right now because it's pretty well smooth. It's got a few little ridges, but not as bad as it looks. At this point, all your print grain and stuff really stands out, but it's not nearly as bad as it appears when it's two colors. So hit it with a nice, decent coat of blue. Probably have to let it dry another day or so, and then we'll get the sanding on it, and hopefully that'll be it, and we can start our rust streaks and get it all done looking nice. And I want to get to playing with the chassis. Been talking with Revxscustoms. He is still innovating. He's working on a different gearbox for his chassis design. It's going to be gears instead of pulleys, as well as a front sway bar kit. And he's constantly innovating and making new things for it. And he has that chassis where he also has a coupe body and a sedan body that fit on it, and you run open wheeled, and as well as this full fendered massive printed body. But anyway, I'm gonna get outside and paint before it gets dark. Alright guys, so this got delayed a little while. Been fighting with the weather doing paints, and then I got sick for a little while, so I've got it all done and sanded. Excuse me, I didn't record a whole lot of it because I was not feeling real great, but so we did the primer, real heavy coat of primer, sanded, did green, sanded, red, and spots, not all the way. Sanded it, and then the final blue coat. And I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure how happy I am with it. There's a lot more primer showing than I intended. So yeah, we'll just have to see. I did come back after that and paint the inside of the body flat black. I just sprayed that. We've got a little overspray on the outside, and it's perfectly fine. Nothing bad enough that needs to be sanded. I like to do that with these because you get a little bit of spray along the window edges, and it just adds a little more depth to it, and saves you a little trouble. So I think today I'm gonna go ahead and paint some of the front. Now I need to insert behind the grill here black, and I'll probably just use a paint pen for that. And I want to do the actual teeth in the grill with my silver paint pen, and the headlight rings and stuff like that. And once that dries, we'll be ready to do the rust streaks and see how it looks. Probably going to do them pretty thick since there is a lot of primer showing. It's that didn't keep as much of the color as I wanted. But yeah, so I'm going to get started with that little stuff, little details on the front, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, so the body is done enough for now. We're going to wrap this up. I've got the base piece here and the fuel cell painted flat black. I'm going to put it all back together here. I can find the other screw. I want to put some different tires and wheels on this. Gonna wait till I get the body mounted. Oh, I'm missing a screw. I did rob one of these screws. I guess it was one of the short ones. This thing has a carrier bearing. It goes through there. Get it back into place. There we go. Like that. What was I saying? Alright, we'll do that one from the bottom side. So we get it all lined up and jiving right. I don't need that. I went ahead and painted the grill silver, and the rust streaks ate into the silver quite a bit, so it ran down onto the bumper, gave the bumper a silver hint, so not bad. But yeah, I want to do some different tires and wheels on this thing. I think I don't have a clue what I want to do yet, but I'm going to try out some stuff once we get the body mounted. See, because they fit perfect, the ones that are on here, but they're just a little small for me. This is our battery tie down. And this is set up for a little small, like 2-cell LiPo size, which I do not have, so I'm not going to be able to get it driving in this video, but we can certainly keep playing with the looks of it. And I tighten these forever long screws down. The way that the body mounts, there's 4 screws, and they go through the body, through our floorboard, and into the frame. And the frame is not tapped in those areas, so we'll have to cross that bridge. And we got some really long hardware for that. Alright, so I snap the headlights in. Nice 3D printed clear. They have a nice rat rod look to them. They're kind of hazy, and I didn't know how they came out, so I scratched them a little bit when I first took them off. So, alright guys, so it's got it kind of sitting on there. The problem with the rear axle's a crawler axle. It's basically a aluminum version of a SCX-10-1 original axle, and it is super, super wide. So offset on the wheel is going to play a big part as to what we can actually put back there. I have some of these slicks on the exact same wheels that this has, but I really don't think they're going to work. I don't have a single tire or wheel combo that'll fit this thing. That rear axle being so wide, very limited. Even with the exact same wheel, everything, the tire was hitting the fender on the inside, so not sure yet what we'll do about that, but it'll be something fun we can tinker with down the road. I'm going to wrap this one up here. This has been several weeks worth of trying to paint in the cold weather. I think it came out pretty good. Didn't come out exactly like I was envisioning. The blue didn't work quite like I wanted, apparently, but overall, I think it looks pretty good. It's a very neat, unique kit. If you're interested in one of these, check out Revxscustoms. Link in the video descriptions. And yeah, that chassis and stuff's pretty cool. It'll be a fun little racer. We can come back later. I think the next thing we'll do is put some windows in, and gotta do something with the wheels because they kind of stand out being all shiny. So we'll have to dull those down a little bit and go from there. But appreciate you guys watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you on the next video. Keep it scale.